Welcome to this month's safety video. There are a few things that I want to talk about. First, I want to start off with kind of brakes and tires because there's some changes that I plan on making as far as maintenance goes there. I'm going to do a better job of tracking when we replace those so we can get a better idea of how well they're wearing, because I see some trends, from one truck to another. There are some trucks where the brakes or tires are lasting a lot longer than they are on other trucks. And then also talking to other, fleet owners or fleet managers, what kind of expected length we should get out of each of those. And I just don't feel like we're getting the correct length. So starting off with brakes, I've actually been doing some research on this, watching some videos of drivers driving, when they come to a full stop or going around corners. I've noticed that there are some drivers that are kind of going into those stops a little fast, waiting too long till they brake. And so when they do brake, they're braking really hard, which is really hard on brakes, one. And two, it's also not the safe way to operate a commercial motor vehicle. So I encourage you to avoid that kind of behavior. I'm going to kind of keep watching those videos. And if I see individual drivers at this point kind of continuing what I consider those unsafe behaviors and bad on brake behaviors, I'm going to kind of have individual conversations with those drivers. Now, when it comes to tires, so also on top of that, both tires and brakes, I'm going to start tracking when we replace them, which ones, like is it the front left outer that on a drive tire that's getting replaced, or the rear inner passenger side on a trailer. I'm going to track all that to that level of detail, both with brakes and with tires. So with tires, the tires are wearing faster than they should in a lot of situations. There's some things that we're going to do on our end to try to alleviate that. One, we're going to be more consistent about the tires that we put on the trucks and trailers, and a little bit higher quality tire, so that they hopefully will last longer. The thing that we ask for you guys to do is to check for wear patterns, and please make sure you're checking the tire pressure on a regular basis, so that we're not going through these tires, we're not having we're limiting the number of unpredicted blowouts, that kind of thing. So if you can help us with that, we would appreciate it. The last thing I want to talk about today are jackknifes. This kind of goes along with winter driving. Especially here in Utah, the winter has not been very bad this year, but there have been other parts of the country where it has been bad, and drivers have been running into some bad road conditions. But I specifically want to focus today on jackknifes. Luckily, it's not something that we've ever had to deal with a jackknife in our fleet yet, but it's because you guys do a pretty good job of avoiding them. But because it's winter and they are more prevalent, I want to kind of emphasize those as something we can all think about. So things to think about, conditions that can kind of create jackknifes: obviously slippy roads. When you've got an empty trailer, they can be more likely. When the tires, especially on the trailer, are bad, they can be likely, driving too fast and braking abruptly. So just be aware, those are kind of some of the things that cause jackknifes. And as far as prevention goes, when preventing jackknifes, good inspections so that we know that all of our equipment, whether it's tires or other parts or components of the truck or trailer, are operating and functioning as they are designed to function. And then, one of the biggest ones is just driving correctly for the appropriate conditions. If the roads are slick and it's more likely that a jackknife could occur, drive at the appropriate speeds for those roads. And if the roads are bad enough that you can't mitigate the risk and by driving at a different speed or driving differently, then we should stop and not drive anymore. And let Nate or I kind of deal with the consequences with the broker if they're upset about a load. If you do get into a situation where the truck's beginning to jackknife, a couple of things that you should do: disengage the clutch if you're in a manual, or shift to neutral if you're in an automatic. That way you kind of get the rolling traction back. Avoid using your brakes. Maybe if you can, engage the trailer brakes a little bit, slightly, and then steer in the direction of the skid first, and then counter steer so that you can kind of straighten the truck out. There's a lot of things that kind of have to happen if you get in a jackknife that just kind of need to be second nature. So walk through those things in your mind, think about it, and so that way, you know, if you've done this in your mind many times, when it actually happens, it becomes more of a second nature, and you'll just kind of do those things. Appreciate all you guys do to be safe, to be attentive out there, to keep the roads safe for yourself, for you, for the equipment. Once you've had a chance to watch the video, just shoot me a text or an email, let me know something that stuck out that you had the chance to watch it, and we'll appreciate it, what you do, and we'll talk to you later.